ahead, let you guys know ahead of time, because people miss out a lot sometimes. But hopefully, if some of you guys are available, we'd love to see you in there. It is a beautiful New Year's Day. Happy New Year's to all you guys. It is January 1st. Really hard to believe it's January. It's right now 60 degrees out. Washington, D.C. Absolutely gorgeous weather. I'm just in a t-shirt. It is just beautiful. Hope you guys are having a wonderful New Year. The entire eastern U.S. right now heating up, which is good to see after the incredible freeze we just had. Nice warm temperatures. We got like 4 more days in the 60s, so that's awesome. And I'm here at the Arboretum. This is the visitor center. They've actually had some koi in here. I'm guessing they already took them out because it got really cold here. But I don't wonder if they stay in here in the winter. This is a beautiful pond here. I'm actually going to end here, so I'm going to start walking through the loop to show you guys all the needle palms, all the redwoods, everything, sable minor. And then we're going to end back here because they've got tons of cacti. This area is amazing. But right by the visitor center. Hey, Yellow Belly Tropics, thank you so much for joining in. I saw your comment. I still need to respond to that. I have a lot of comments I have to respond to. I'm going to try to catch up to that before I go back right while I'm still on the break. But thank you so much for being there. Good to see you. Happy New Year to you. Where are you located, by the way? Are you in the tropics, Yellow Belly Tropics? Beautiful sable miner here, by the way. I'm going to get back to these at the end of the live stream, but just gorgeous here. Stunning. They've got, I think, 8 of them here or so. Beautiful, and they've produced numbers, a lot of seed in the past. And this looks like a Hesperella or Hesper yucca, this huge thing here. Really cool to see. And then there's a needle palm, some sable miner down there, which I'm going to get to in due time. But I'm just going to literally just do the loop here, show you guys all there is to see, because there is quite a lot here at the Arboretum. Just beautiful. I mean, it's just a gorgeous day out here. I got to tell you, I really, DC winters obviously are not my favorite thing, but I mean, considering after being in Cincinnati, I really feel like they're not too bad. And then also after being in Mexico, I feel like they maybe are bad, considering how mild it is there, but where I was. But, I'm going to say DC winters aren't too terrible. I can manage, let's just say. And especially with days like this, it's 60 degrees out. Hopefully you guys are having some nice weather. Yellow Belly Tropics, hopefully you're having some nice weather wherever you are. Hey, Cal, great to see you in there. Hope all's well. I'm here at the National Arboretum, Washington, D.C. I'm going to get back. This is the visitor center here. They've got some beautiful palms, cacti, all sorts of stuff there. I'm going to get back there at the end, and I'm just going to circle around and show you guys all the other palms and everything else. But, that's awesome. 14 Celsius in London. So 14 Celsius. That's... trying to think what that is. That's probably like 58 or something. I don't know in Fahrenheit, but that seems pretty darn nice. That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. With a low of 10 Celsius, that's not bad at all. Yeah, London this time of year. Obviously, you guys had your bad deep freeze. I'm sorry about that. Obviously, compared to here, that's nothing. We got down to 7 degrees Fahrenheit here. I don't know what that is, like minus 15 Celsius or something, or colder. I don't know. It got cold here. Or I think in the city it didn't get below 10, but that's very rare for us. And now we're right up this whole week. I think we've still got we had a few days in the past, and I think we still got 4 or something days in the 60s. So it's just gorgeous out. I'm just in a t-shirt here. That's the thing, is that places like London, you guys have generally much warmer, milder winters than us, but because we're in such a hot, humid climate, our summers are like the tropics. We do end up having a lot more. Not a lot more, but we have these crazy warm spells sometimes in winter, whereas places like the Pacific Northwest or London may not have that. But I obviously take your winters any day over our winters, because you guys, can grow all sorts of stuff we can't. So I'm quite jealous of that London climate. That's just awesome. Beautiful dawn redwoods here. These are very common here in DC and at the Arboretum too. This is, you'll actually see, I'll show you guys some coast redwoods in a little bit, the ones from California. But this is the one species of redwood, not from California, not from the US. It's from China. It's a much smaller species, grows to like 120 feet, I think 130. And it's also deciduous. Looks just like a bald cypress, very similar. I for the longest time could not tell them apart, and I still have trouble sometimes, those ones back there. But they are beautiful trees, and you see them planted in the streets a lot. Some of them here are easily 100 feet, so cool to see. Sorry, let me get through your comments. That's awesome, Cal. Nice weather in London. I made a new account. It was Yellow Belly Tropics. Got it. You're I Am Batman. Love it. Thank you so much. You've been a participant in my live streams since I think the very first live stream, I believe. So that is just awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. And yeah, East Midlands, UK. I don't know where that is, but is that in England? Is that in England? Is that in the south? I bet it's a nice mild climate wherever it is. That's awesome. It really is lovely. Yeah, Trevor, great to see you. Trevor is in. Thank you so much for joining in, by the way. You were just north of DC, up in Maryland, not far from me. So that is awesome. Fellow DC area palm grower, and yeah, it is just beautiful, beautiful out today. And we still got like 4 more days in the 60s, so that's awesome. It's gonna be like 65 on Wednesday. Warm enough to take my bearded dragon outside. I actually took him out today for the first time in months. My lizard, he can't really be out below 65, but it was like 60 and sunny. So in the sun, if he's basking, it's warm enough, you know, at 60 degrees. So I actually got to take him out. That was a treat. He's loving the warm weather, just like I am. He had to endure that bad freeze. He was inside in his cage, you know, with the lights on. So now he's getting a little bit of a reward for that, as we all are, which is nice. Just beautiful. Sorry if hopefully the camera's not too wobbly. I said since the first live stream I'm gonna get a selfie stick, and I still have yet to do that. I don't know how expensive they are, but I do actually want to get one. I think it would make the camera a lot less wobbly and more pleasant for you guys. Hopefully it's not too wobbly, but yeah, hopefully the quality's okay, the audio video quality. Let me know if anything's not, because I know it does glitch sometimes. Although here in DC, you know, I'm here on local internet. You know, the Wi-Fi usually is pretty good anywhere in DC, especially at the Arboretum. We seem to have great internet connection. Just beautiful. The National Arboretum, if you're ever in DC, plant lovers or just people who want a nice walk around DC, the Arboretum is beautiful. I think people are always struck by how much green space there is in DC. There's a lot of parkland in DC, considering how urban it is. You know, Rock Creek Park, this huge valley right through DC. There's a lot of beautiful nature here. So definitely come to the Arboretum if you ever visit DC. Highly recommend it. And the big needle palm is a sight to behold. I'm gonna show you guys that in a second. It's just beautiful, and some beautiful redwoods, etc. Cacti, all sorts of huge yucca desert plants. Sorry. Really mild here. Yellow belly tropics, that is awesome. That is awesome. I bet it's nice and mild there. Yeah, all the UK stays mild. You got the Gulf Stream, and you're also not attached to Europe, so you don't really have the same freezes. Like, I was actually looking, Paris is actually, despite it being south, and you know, both Paris and London are you know, somewhat inland. I guess Paris is probably a bit more inland, but Paris is in Europe. I mean, it's in continental Europe. London is not. So, you know, Paris, you got that landmass, that cold air just flows right on down. And I'm assuming the UK being obviously at least a bit offshore, you just don't get the same kind of freezes, even if it's similar. Like, I didn't see any washies. I think I saw one phoenix. I'm guessing it was a phoenix cearensis. It's a little palm. I didn't get time to go up to it when I was in Paris, but it actually does seem to be a bit colder than London, which is interesting, even though it's south. London's just an amazingly, remarkably mild climate. It's incredible. Cal, 57.5. Okay, 58. I'll take it. You can round that up to 58. That's awesome. No, that's awesome. That's beautiful weather. That's, yeah, just basically about the same as here. We're 60 degrees. Those look like more, I think those are actually bald cypress there. I think it's a loblolly pine down there. Most things are brown this time of year, most of the trees. You know, DC, if you go into any of the forests here, they're almost all deciduous, which is not my favorite. If you go towards the east, towards the bay, you get some of the pine forests, which are beautiful. I'm not a huge fan of the deciduous forests, but in summer they are really lovely. But you know, this time of year, not the most attractive thing. It's all kind of drab, but you know, lots of nice evergreens to fill in the landscape. These are the eastern white pines. These are native to the northern part of the DC area, and then the subtropical loblolly pine is native to sort of like the eastern and southern reaches of the DC area. So we're not subtropical here, but we are close. You know, the subtropics are within view, as they say. Not far. I also got my palm hat on. I wear this every day, but look at that. Beautiful palm tree on there. Love palmy clothing. I got a palm shirt on too, an eagle with a palm, with some palms behind it. And yeah, sorry, yesterday was 60. Oh, that's awesome, Cal. Really nice and mild, beautiful weather. Happy New Year to you, James Tropicals. Thanks for joining in. Really, really appreciate that. Hopefully you guys are having some nice weather. I know you guys obviously have gotten some cold weather recently, a lot of snow. So hopefully you guys are getting some nice weather. That's awesome. Happy New Year. It's very wet and humid here. Cal, yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, London, winters, people think London's raining year round. It's really not. The summers are actually pretty dry, sunny, and beautiful. And the winters, honestly, are pretty mild. And I actually like the rain a lot, but they are very rainy. So, you know, it's like the Pacific Northwest. Seattle's not a rainy city per se. It doesn't get like a crazy amount of rainfall. It just gets, you know, rainfall pretty much all winter long, and then sunny all summer long. So it's almost like a Mediterranean climate that way. Like Los Angeles gets all its rain in winter. It's actually a bit, you know, winters, you know, relatively are somewhat rainy. Summer's completely dry. Whereas places like Phoenix, Arizona, despite it being drier, it gets all its rain, almost all its rain this summer, because it gets the summer monsoons, which sort of downpour. But anyways, yeah, sorry, let me get to your comments, guys. I want to read these. I've had a cough for like a few weeks. Had like a cold a few weeks ago, so just lingering. But otherwise, yeah, all's well. Raining a lot here. Is it, James? Yeah, that seems to be the case. Yeah, we're getting a lot of. We've gotten a bit of rain recently. You sort of still see the moisture on the pavement here. It's rained a lot, but nice and sunny out right now. You know, just sporadic clouds. Happy New Year to all you guys. So this is the Arizona state tree. They have all the state trees planted here, and if they don't have them, they actually replace them with a similar species. So the Palo Verde, I'm assuming it doesn't grow here. Dry climate tree, obviously it's from the desert. So they have the honey locust growing in place. I'm guessing it's a related species. And for the South Carolina and Florida, the state tree is the sable palmetto, which, you know, I would say, you know, not a hardy species here. It's a marginal species, but they have it represented by the dwarf palmettos, which I'll show you guys in a second. So they fill them in. Even the palms, they have replacements for. So, you know, hardier palms, which is cool to see. Beautiful bald cypress here. These are naturalized along the lake here. I'm assuming they weren't planted. I don't know. Parts of Germany got up to 74. Oh my gosh, wow. Yeah, exactly. That's like here. This week I think it's gonna be the 60s, but a few of the days, like when we get to like 66, it's gonna be rainy, so won't feel as nice, but it's still not bad. Yesterday was in the 50s and rainy, and honestly it wasn't too bad. But today is 60 and sunny. It's just gorgeous. There's the bald cypress there. Beautiful. Even in winter, they still have that silhouette, and all the dead leaves hanging on it, almost to make it look like it still has some foliage. They've got all the beautiful knees, you know, that stick up out of the water. Super cool. We had rain all. Yeah, that's awesome. I actually saw. I always look at the temperature map, and it looked like Northern Europe, more so than even Southern Europe, was getting all that heat, which is nice, lovely. I'm up to 55. Wow, 55 degrees northeast. That's crazy. That's amazing out. You're so far north of us. We're at 39 here, and yet we're so much colder because, you know, all the currents are different. We have the Labrador current, which keeps us cold, unfortunately. Lows minus 5C this winter. Okay, that's not bad at all. Yeah, our low's like minus 15 or something, so Celsius. So that's not bad at all. Here they have all the state trees. Here we got Alaska, the Sitka spruce, beautiful species here, represented by black spruce. I wonder, I would think Sitka spruce would grow here. Maybe there's like some sort of like bug that infests it, but this is the black spruce here. Also, I think native to Alaska, if I'm not wrong. Lots of spruce here. And then a beautiful conifer forest there. All the pines and everything. Northeast Lincolnshire. Oh, I got it. I'm not sure where that is, but I'm assuming that's in the south, somewhere, some south of England. Am I right? That's cool. I've heard of that. Yeah, England's beautiful. Only time the rain stopped yesterday was in time for the. Oh wow, that's awesome. I didn't actually see the fireworks because I don't actually live in DC. I live just north in Maryland, but that's awesome. I'm assuming DC being the capital, it must have tons of fireworks. 19 inches of rain in 2022. Wow. Yeah, exactly. That just shows you we get like an average of 38 inches here in DC, I think, per year, which is slightly above the national average. So you guys get, yeah, exactly. I've heard London gets like very little rainfall in inches because it rains, you know, just like sprinkles in winter, and then summers are pretty dry. So that just goes to show you London gets a lot less rain than us in inches, but it rains, you know, more days in winter, but much less in summer. We get majority of our rain in summer, or more rain in summer. It's pretty evenly distributed, but more in summer. Hey, David Irwin, thank you so much for joining in. If it's been covered. So yeah, actually, if you go to my channel and check out my video, it's called like Garden Update After the Arctic Blast or something like that. I made a video showing the damage. So most of the damage is on my little trackies, which just had some browning. A lot of the fronds curled in, you know, like the tips curl like that. But nothing too terrible. Take heel got a little beat up. Big trackie has almost no damage. And then I also, I haven't uploaded this yet because I still have videos to upload for my trip to Mexico, which was awesome. But I made an update on the big trackie. You know, the one in DC that's about 30 feet tall, the biggest one I've seen. It has, I mean, really no damage on it to speak of, like maybe a tiniest bit of tip burning on the lower fronds, but you guys will see that shortly because I'll upload it. I'm gonna upload it soon. But yeah, basically no damage. And obviously the sable miner and needle palms, absolutely no damage, never got damaged here. So yeah, the only trackies you'd see damage on. Most of the bigger ones have pretty much no damage. This is obviously a below average winter so far, pretty cold. You know, it got colder than it's gotten the last few winters here, but you know, only the little trackies got damaged. I'm expecting pretty much every one of them to pull through. I might end up protecting some of my little trackies more as winter goes on, just to be safe. But also all the spears still firm. I tugged on every one of the spears in my trackies, all firm. So that was the big relief. Also my sable Atonia, that really shocked me. There's just not much. It's not that I didn't expect it to be hardy, but there's just not much experimenting with them in colder climates because they're so rare. But I managed to get one, planted it like end of summer, so didn't even have a full season to get established. I was expecting to show some damage. Not only do the fronds show no damage, but when I tugged on that spear, it was firm as can be. So that really impressed me. And again, miners, you know, minor protection. Put a little burlap around the edge, threw some leaves on top. But to be honest, I mean, that probably didn't do that much. And that palm is tough. So I'm really excited to see how that does here. I think it's got good prospects for the DC area. I've always heard they're hardy to zone 7B. Probably a little harder than trackies, so really cool. There's the moon right there above those pines. That's cool. It's always funny when you see the moon in the day. But sure enough, there you go. Atlas cedar here, I think. Beautiful. Now you can see DC. See if you can see the Capitol. Oh, not quite. Nice view over there. If you go to the top of that mountain, that hill there, it's a really nice walk up there, and you can also see out to the Capitol and all the Washington Monument, the whole skyline. It's a beautiful view from up there. Not sure I have time to go up there. There's not many exotic plants to see up there. Most of them are over in this section. This is one of the most famous places at the Arboretum. This is a dawn redwood grove. So the redwoods I mentioned before, they're deciduous. They're from China, but a beautiful species, even though they're not as tall as the other redwoods. They're still really nice. And we got a grove here. This is one of the first groves planted, I think, anywhere, because they were thought to be extinct until they were just rediscovered, I think, in the 40s. Like one small grove, they're like millions of years old, these ancient trees. And sure enough, that, you know, this is the national arboretum of the country, so this is where they do all their experimenting. They planted them here, and they're huge, especially with all the foliage on them. They're really beautiful, beautiful trees, huge trunks at the base, just gorgeous. Excuse me, guys. Anyways, here we go. So let me see. Got Arboretum columnaris. Oh, that's awesome. I've heard of that. I've heard of that species. That is really cool. What's the common name on that, Cal? That's a species that I don't know is hardy, if it's hardy here or not. Arboretum arcana is the only Arboretum I've seen here. That's a fully hardy species here. I have a video of a 60+ foot specimen growing here, but Arboretum columnaris, I know that species. I forget the common name, but that's beautiful and that's awesome. It's definitely hardy in London. And I mean, there's Norfolk Island pines growing in London, so that's just awesome. Amazing how mild London is. Every time I see it, I'm almost like learning about. It's even more mild than I thought. Like the people were growing like, you know, Arconta Phoenix and other stuff like that. I never would have imagined possible. Kentia palms, etc. So it is really quite a mild climate. I have a couple. Sorry. Stepping at 55. That's amazing. That's amazing. Largest about 5 feet tall. Most don't survive. Oh yeah. So 55. How far north? Where Vincennes Calzone? Where in England are you? I'm assuming you're in England. Are you? It's 55. I think London's 52, if I'm not wrong. 52 degrees. Are you in south, north, or central England? CADPs do well. Yes, yeah. They seem to be harder than washies up there. Washingtonia undamaged here. That's amazing. Yeah. London, I don't think they'll ever get damaged. I mean, maybe like in some, you know, crazy freeze, but I can't really imagine it. This is a really sad sight here. This is a giant sequoia, Sequoiadendron giganteum. Sadly, did not make it. I have no idea why. Maybe it's some sort of pest attacking it. There's plenty of big ones in the area. They're obviously fully hardy here. They're hardier than the coast redwood by quite a bit since they're native up to the mountains. I've seen them in the wild, and they get tons of snow up there. Gorgeous trees, the most massive in the world. Not the tallest, but the most massive. They weigh the most. And sadly, this one doesn't make it. I don't know what it was, but you know, it was a beautiful tree beforehand. And then these are gorgeous, gorgeous coast redwoods here. Sequoia sempervirens, the tallest currently measured trees in the world. Just gorgeous. These ones look even better than when I last saw them. They had a bit of browning last time. I would imagine maybe from the humidity and direct sunlight. I'm assuming it's not the cold. The cold never seems to bother me here. But these just look gorgeous. The leaves look even greener than last time. And they've got a younger one here. Just gorgeous. Really, really beautiful trees. Someday they'll be, maybe, who knows, as big as the ones out west. I wonder. Lightning here is a big problem, though, with that. Sorry, let me read through you guys' comments. CADPs do well up here near the coast. Washingtonian damage here. Yeah, Cal, London's so nice and mild. Love London for palms. Beautiful. Yes, yeah, I know. It's crazy how mild it is there. What's up, man? Are you at the Botanic Garden? Southwest Hardy Palms, thank you so much for joining in. Great to see you here. I saw your new video. I saw that you posted a new video about your guys, all your garden update and everything. I want to see that. I have not watched it yet. I'm going to watch that when I get home. That's awesome. I'm at the National Arboretum, not the Botanic Garden. The Botanic Garden's like right on the National Mall. It's mostly just like an indoor conservatory with a bit of gardens around it. They have some some trackies, some sable minors, some needle palms planted outside, and obviously tons of palms inside. But here at the Arboretum's like on the edge of DC, on the eastern edge, and it's huge, it's massive. They got everything here. Lots of palms. They don't have any trackies. I wish they'd plant some. I feel like they would, since they experiment with a lot of stuff here. But you know, number of needle palms and sable minor here, which is awesome. Great to see you here at Southwest Hardy Palms. Happy New Year. It's awesome. I have a couple of washies unprotected and unscathed. That's amazing. That's amazing. I can't believe, it still boggles my mind that Washingtonia grew up there in London, considering that your guys' like high temperatures aren't that different from us, but your guys' just lows are a lot higher. So, you know, it's just amazing. Amazing climate up there. Great to hear. New Caledonian pine. Yes, Cal, I know that one. That's the tropical Araucaria. Beautiful, beautiful. That's awesome. Near Newcastle upon Tyne. I'm gonna look that up. I don't know where that is, but I bet it's nice and mild. That's awesome. Cool, you answered my question. Got it. Looks nice in DC right now. It is Southwest Hardy Palms. It is 60 degrees and sunny. There's not much more perfect in January. You'd have trouble convincing me it was New Year's Day if I hadn't looked at the clock. It is it's just crazy. It feels like a beautiful spring day. You know, and then we've got like 4 more days in the 60s before it drops off to more average, probably high 40s weather. So nice and mild. And those beautiful, beautiful redwood here, massive. Gained some good size. That's awesome to see. This is, I think, the biggest coast redwood I've ever seen. I've seen some sequoias that are bigger in DC, but this is a big tree, probably at least, I don't know, probably at least 50 feet, maybe more. More northern than me. Yes, yeah. 55 degrees. I'm guessing that's like central England, though I don't exactly know. London's 51. Oh, got it. South coast of Cornwall's 50. Scilly Isles are 40. Got it. Thank you, Cal. That gives me some reference. So 55 then is probably like northern England, maybe. Yeah, northeast England near. Oh, got it. I know. The coast. If I lived in England, I still wonder. I don't think I'd live in the Isles of Scilly. I don't know. Some people love island living. For me, I feel like I need access to stuff. I feel like eventually living on an island, I just want to be able to drive places, even though the Isles of Scilly are just insanely gorgeous and so mild. I don't know if I'd live in Cornwall or in London if I had a choice, and if money wasn't a thing, and jobs, obviously. I know London's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination, but I do love London. It's a gorgeous place. It's just amazing. It is fascinating how mild it is up there. I'm on the northeast coast. Yeah, that's awesome. Amazing that you can grow washies and stuff up there. Weather's predictions for London say the next year is supposed to be even warmer. Really? You know what? I mean, considering how much development there is there, the urban heat island in London has got to be one of the warmest anywhere, like in terms of how much it raises the temperature from the surrounding area. It's like at least 3 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what it is, like 1 or 2 Celsius warmer than the surrounding areas, even like places further south. It's amazing. Literally, there's kenches and Arcanta phoenix growing unprotected there. It really does boggle my mind. It's crazy. Yeah, look at this redwood. It's got like a second trunk on it. Beautiful. you guys can obviously grow these. I mean, you guys probably have a better climate for these than ours. Not necessarily because of the winters. I mean, you know, they probably do prefer the milder winters, even though they're fully hardy here. But also, you guys have like milder summers, which definitely helps. They prefer those like cloudy. I mean, in California where they grow, where they're native, it's not necessarily raining in summer. You know, they go like months without rain probably, even though they actually are native to a rainforest. There is rainforest in California, believe it or not. It's not all dry. But where they're native, it's not necessarily raining in summer, but the fog sort of seeps. It's cloudy all summer in the area where they're native along the coast. And then basically the mountains keep the fog out of the inland areas. That's why it's so hot inland and so cool along the coast. It's in the 60s in San Francisco in summer where it's like 110 inland. But the fog sort of seeps, the water seeps out of the fog into the soil, sort of keeps them, you know, like the soil drench essentially from the fog. So it keeps them moisturized in the summer, keeps them wet in the summer. Bang on 55. That's awesome. Yeah, that's nice. That is crazy far north. And you can grow washies there. Amazing. Weather predictions for London say next year is supposed to... Yeah, I have no doubt about that. I mean, London, I know their average in winter is like 48 or 49 degrees Fahrenheit high, and they've been having like in the 50s the last few winters, so nice and mild. It's like 13 Celsius here. That's awesome. 13 Celsius, nice and mild. Beautiful, beautiful. That's probably like 16 Celsius here then. So I think, or 15, because I think 14 you said is 57.5 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're right around 60 Fahrenheit. So guessing around 15 degrees Celsius. That's what I'm in a t-shirt right now. It's just beautiful weather out. That's what I think of the Scilly Isles are too small to live on. Yeah, exactly. Dry, warm summers. Yes. I don't know which I prefer. I feel like the beaches in England. not that I'm a huge beach person. I love like going snorkeling in Mexico, but you know, unfortunately I sunburn pretty easily. But I feel like, you know, living in Cornwall on the beach and not being able to go to the beach with, you know, except for like a few weeks, I feel like the water is like cold there year round. Yeah, London does seem to be a bit hotter in summer because it's inland, obviously. Yeah. Green Cordyline australis grow like weeds on the coast up here. Oh my gosh, yeah. 6 feet tall plus, that's crazy. Every so often the winter will cut them down. Huh, interesting, yeah. Last mass. Got it. Yeah, exactly. They always get cut in places like the Pacific Northwest, but they always grow back. That's amazing. Cordylines seem to be everywhere there, and unfortunately, they do not seem to be hardy here. Although I don't really know much about their hardiness, but I always read they're like a Zone 8 or Zone 9 plant, which kind of surprises me. I bet they're hardier than that, but we are Zone 7 here, so they don't seem to have a chance here. Although I have seen some survive the winter. It seems like in mild winters. Sounds great. Always love when it's mild. I know it's crazy. We just had our freeze down to like, you know, 10 or below Fahrenheit. Not negative, but like, you know, we got to around probably 7 to 10 Fahrenheit, somewhere around that range. Unfortunately, I wasn't here for it, or maybe fortunately, although I was in Cincinnati where it was even colder. But we always have the warm after the freeze, which is nice and mild. We're getting those cooler temps that you guys are going to get. Yes. High 40s, foggy. Yeah, I saw that. Salt Lake City. I always track the weather in different parts of the country. I have like listed on my weather app. Excuse me. If you go on the weather app, you can also go to that map. I love that. I feel like I'm on that way too much. Where that's like my video game. Instead of being on a video game, I just go to the weather app, click on that map, and sort of scroll around to different parts of the world and click like if you just click on the. Say you click in Germany or something, it'll show you the weather there. You can click on a specific spot and it'll show you, because they have weather stations everywhere. But anyways, I always track the weather. I saw you guys have like the 40s to 40 degrees weather there, which is not bad at all. But yeah, Salt Lake City does get cold, but you know, it's also a drier cold. I feel like that makes a difference. And I love Salt Lake City so much. It's a beautiful city. I feel like it's one of those less visited U.S. cities that really should be more appreciated. You know, I know there's good skiing around there. I've actually gone skiing in there in the past. Some of the best in the world. And also just the city's beautiful with the mountains behind it. The Great Salt Lake is amazing. I just love Utah. Is just blows me away. You know, I love California. Obviously, California's beautiful. Arizona's beautiful. You know, plenty of states are beautiful, but I think Utah is just really one of those beautiful states. But yeah, that's not bad weather at all. That's nice. I've honestly never felt this much humidity here. And yeah. Feels like foggy Northern California. Yeah, exactly. I know. This thing is huge. I made videos on it in the past. I haven't made one in a while, though. This is the thing is I have so many videos to upload. I don't actually think I'm going to make any videos when I'm out here. I think I'm just going to do one long live stream, show you guys everything on here. And then if you guys want to see how they're all doing, you can go back through the live stream and everything. But I actually have so many videos to upload from Mexico still. And obviously I took like, I think 7 yesterday of palms around DC. So that's awesome. I got some palmy videos around DC, including one new house with 3 huge sable miner in the yard. I've never filmed before. So Got some new palmy videos from DC, got some from Mexico on the way. So stay tuned for that. But I have so many videos to upload. I'm so backlogged right now. I'm not actually gonna take any videos here. I'm just gonna go around to the live stream and basically film everything I would have taken a video on. And then obviously come back here relatively soon. But you guys can go back to the live stream if you want to see. But yeah, this redwood is just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful to see. Surprised me when I first saw it, but I seem to notice them more and more now. There's a huge sequoia in my neighborhood, probably around 50 or 60 feet. There's at the U.S. Capitol, there's some that were planted in 1900, probably similar size. They actually grow pretty fast, considering that they lived to like 2,000 years old or something, or 3,000. They grow remarkably fast. Like the oldest redwood, I think, is only, I say only, obviously it's still ancient, it's like 600 years old. But it's crazy that they actually grow so quickly. And apparently in like New Zealand, there's redwood forests that they planted, and they actually grow faster than in California, where they're native. I guess because it's like milder or something, which kind of surprises me. I didn't even know plants could grow faster than in their native habitat, but apparently they do. And they already have like several 100-foot redwood forests there in New Zealand. And yeah, they grow really fast, apparently, given the right climate. They probably don't grow their fastest here. You know, crazy hot, humid summers and colder winters than where they're native. So, but yeah, I love them. I love seeing them here, and I would love to get one if I had a bigger yard. I watched this video. If you guys look it up, I watched this video on the redwoods of, I think it was Raleigh, North Carolina. There are several that are probably at least 150 feet. They are just towering, and I'd love to visit some of them when I'm down there. So they're all over the country now. There's about 100 plus foot sequoia that was planted in the early 1800s at the Morton Arboretum in Pennsylvania, probably zone 6, maybe even zone 5B. Really cold climate, like where they're native, but they, it's been there for hundreds of years, obviously fully hardy, and it's just beautiful. But they take time to reach a huge size, but they do grow pretty fast, overall, but they just get massive. Here's the Dawn redwoods, by the way, Southwest hardy palms. I don't know if you were on for this before, but here they are. The famous Dawn redwood grove here. They are deciduous redwoods, but they are still redwoods, and this is one of the first populations planted anywhere outside of their native habitat, right here at the National Arboretum, because they weren't really rediscovered until the 40s. They were thought to be extinct. They're, I believe, like 300 million years old or something. They're ancient trees, the species, and Metasequoia glyptostroboides. It is a really nice species. It's everywhere here. I wish they would plant more of the evergreen redwoods here, but still nice to see. They plant these all around DC. Looks a lot like a bald cypress. But oh, look at this. These hemlocks just came down. A lot of these have been infested by the hemlock woolly adelgid. Here's more hemlocks, which this is one of my favorite native trees. It's one of the few large evergreen trees that you'll see in the DC area, even though they're incredibly rare here. But they're almost all been killed off by this invasive insect. I don't see it here, but it basically forms these white masses on the underside of the needles. I'm a huge conifer lover too, even though I love exotic plants. Obviously, exotic meaning warm climate plants. But I am sort of, I'm still very appreciative. You can see there, that white mass there. Where is it? Right there. That is what I'm talking about. You see that white mass on the needles there? That's a killer. That's a killer bug. That's what kills all these hemlocks, and it's a real tragedy. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Get to your comments. Yeah, but that's crazy. Southwest hardy palms, nice and humid down there. Yeah, when I was in Mexico, actually, I was in the tropical desert down there, and it was, wasn't crazy humid, but it was like 75% or something. And when it was like, around 70 degrees, it still felt perfect out, obviously. But it was interesting to see a little bit of humidity down there in the desert, because obviously the desert can get pretty humid. But it wasn't like it was raining or anything. I think it was just the influence of the ocean on 3 sides. By the coast, it stays kind of humid. I bet you when it's like 90 degrees there, though, it's less humid. London finished 2292 with an average temperature of 47. Wow, yeah, see, that's like, I feel like that's colder than DC, although I don't know. But because you guys obviously are a lot milder than us, but you're also a lot milder in summer. So that's interesting. That's actually lower than I would have expected, but obviously, you guys have nice mild winters. That's interesting, though. Surprised there's not more arid. I know, seriously. I know there are some, especially in the South Coast near Cornwall, there's some huge, beautiful desert gardens. I think what's it called? Oh, I'm forgetting the name now. There's some botanic garden. Oh, God, it's like on the tip of my tongue. There's some botanic garden on the South Coast of England. They have huge washes, huge CIDP, and then amazing desert gardens. oh God, I forget the name. In Cornwall. So there are some, but yeah, I bet you know, lots of cacti do well there, obviously, as they do here. I always say this needs to be. Yeah, exactly. I know you guys can obviously grow a lot more dry climate species than us because you have drier summers, and I mean, not that the summers make so much of a difference, but still it does. And also, you know, milder winters, even if they are pretty rainy. So you can grow like, you know, huge prickly pears, everything. This year I did see a lot of cacti sale. Yes, I hope so. I've been seeing, you know, I've been hearing about more hardy palms for sale, so I hope that'll encourage people to plant more of them here. I always say it, you know, I wish palms were way more common here, but I'm still kind of surprised how common they are, considering how they're in literally zero garden centers I've ever seen a hardy palm for sale in the DC area. Maybe one, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I've never seen a needle palm or sable minor for sale anywhere in the DC area. I'm trying to remember if I've seen a trachea anywhere, but actually, there's one woman who's selling it, and it said hardy windmill palms that will survive the winter here. They're like advertised as such, and they were actually Washingtonia. She was selling 2 Washingtonia. I didn't go up to her. I probably should have, just to you know, let her know that her customers would be disappointed because Washingtonia will not survive the winter here. Trachees have a good chance, obviously, of surviving. So she was selling windmill palms. I probably would have bought them if they actually were. They were good size, but they were actually washy. She said hardy windmill palms, you know, that will survive the winters here, but they were actually Washingtonia. So let's wander down through here. The big needle palm's right there, but I'm gonna do a little bit of a detour. How long have I been going through? 36 minutes, okay. Yes, yeah. Yeah, exactly. No doubt that tons of agave and yucca that do well there. Tresco, no, so it's Tresco, obviously I know about, the one on the Isles of Scilly. It's not that, it's Ventnor Botanic Garden. I was trying to remember, there's a street in my neighborhood that has the same name, so I was trying to think of that street. Ventnor Botanic Garden. There we go, that is what I was thinking of. Ventnor Botanic Garden on the south coast has some of the biggest, so I think some of the biggest washies that I've seen pictures of anywhere in mainland the UK, you know, outside of the Tresco, or at least, you know, some pretty big ones, big Phoenix experiences. If I recall, some big Jubea as well, Butia, etc., and then an amazing desert garden. And yeah, obviously Tresco has like probably the best desert garden in the country, in the UK. I don't know where Lamorin is though. Lamorin must be in Cornwall or somewhere there. That's on the Isle of Wight. Oh, Isle of Wight, got it. That's a nice mild. I know the Isle of Wight's just south of Cornwall. Gotta have a nice mild climate there. Zone 10A, yeah, that's incredible. So you guys are obviously, that's a cold Zone 10A. So like Zone 10A in the US, you can grow coconut palms in some parts of Zone 10A here. Like there's even coconuts in Zone 9. Parts of Florida, parts of California, there's coconut palms in Zone 9, probably parts of Texas too. But yeah, Zone 10A is it's like London being zone whatever it is, 10 something, or 9 whatever, because it's the lows are mild enough, but the highs aren't nearly warm enough for you to grow like royal palms or stuff like that. And also even the lows, the lows are done by averages. So you know, it has an average of zone. You know, Zone 10A lows, not because the lows are like warm. I mean, like a Zone 10A in Florida would be warmer if it weren't for the terrible freezes they get. Whereas a Zone 10A in the UK, it's pretty much more standard. Like the lows are a lot cooler, but you never get those bad freezes to the same extent. So I don't think people realize how, outside of the US, realize how bad some of the freezes are here, like the ones in Texas. And then you have really mild ones, like the freeze we just had was decently bad, but didn't really damage anything. You know, damaged some trachees, but didn't really kill anything. You know, we still have winter left, but yeah, to freeze in Texas, the fact that it killed Washington, I mean, the fact that Washingtonia robusta died in Houston, where you can at least marginally grow like royal palms and majesty palms, and they're big ones, not far from there, it just blows my mind. 100-year-old palms that had never been damaged, you know, wiped out. It's insane. It's actually really crazy. And almost scary for the fact not only that it's tragic losing a palm like that, but also, you know, those things are huge hazards. If you have a 100-foot Washingtonia robusta that's dead, those things come falling down. That is not a a pleasant scene that's, you know, can kill people, and also it costs thousands to remove them. So a real problem. It's like the palm beetles. The palm beetles start killing those palms. They're into San Diego now. Now you're gonna have to pay thousands of dollars that maybe people can't afford to remove those palms. It's a tragedy. But yeah, here's the massive needle palm, by the way, guys. Look at this palm. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's just a stunning, stunning specimen. Here's some Fatsia japonica. These are, I forget the common name of these now, but we just had our deep freeze. I'm trying to see. I don't know if that's any damage on them. These seem to be a fully hardy species here. Very, very, very tropical looking. Just beautiful. I'd love to get some. And just beautiful. Liriope here. Atlas cedar here. Massive Atlas cedar. Or maybe a deodar cedar. One of the two. And just look at this palm. Unbelievable. This palm was planted in the 60s, I was told 1968. I don't know if that's correct or not, but sometime around then. So over 50 years old. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous palm. 55 years old this year, that would be. And the fronds are so gorgeous. I mean, people say needle palms are, they think they're little shrubs. They may be little shrubs when they're young, but I would not call this a little shrub. This is like 12 feet tall, probably at least 15 feet wide. Just a massive palm. Look at the size of these fronds. Just gorgeous. This palm is unbelievable. If you guys come to the Arboretum, you have to see it. You know, we may not get the huge washies like, you know, wherever, like London, but we do have some beautiful needle palms, you know, that are almost unrivaled anywhere, even in their native habitat. I mean, this thing is just insane. What a beast. Even last week I read the South Padre 26. It's crazy. And it also, another crazy fact is that Atlantic Canada, like the places north of Maine, north of all those freezing states in the US, Atlantic Canada was warmer than Miami Beach at the end of December. They got some crazy warm spell. They were in the 50s in Miami Beach for the first time I've ever seen it. I think it had a low of like around 50, excuse me, a high of around 50, which I've never seen, and a low around in the 40s. And now it's back to like the 80 degrees weather, because Miami is truly tropical climate, but they still get those bad freezes, you know, bad in, you know, a relative sense. Got down to like 40, low to mid 40s. That's enough to kill a lipstick palm, or at least damage it. The what's it called? Certostachys renda. So that's, you know, they're not fully hardy down there. The only place in the continental U.S. where lipstick palms are fully hardy, I would say, is the Florida Keys, and it got down to the 50s there. I don't think it got down to the 40s, so not cold enough to kill one. But I'd say the Florida Keys, only place in the continental U.S. where they are fully hardy. Those are probably the most frost tender palm in the world. Or at least one of. They are just one of the most gorgeous palms, though. Unfortunately, they're so non-hardy, but they are just stunning, stunning, stunning palms. It's really quite amazing. That is a really, yeah. That Fatsia is beautiful. And I think there actually might have been more there beforehand. I don't know. There's lots of them scattered around the Arboretum. But it's nice to see, yeah. How large can they get in DC? They grow pretty slow here in Utah unless you get them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, here I'm assuming they would grow faster. I'm assuming they're probably native to a more humid climate. It's funny. I feel like I don't think I've ever seen a massive one. I don't really notice them around. They seem to be pretty rare here, but I feel like I've seen some that are like 4 feet maybe. I don't know how big they get, but you know, they wouldn't die back because of cold here. I don't know. I mean, I would imagine even the worst of freezes wouldn't kill them. Maybe kill them to the ground. I mean, I really don't think so. They seem to be a pretty hardy species here. I mean, you know, it has basically no damage on it after our bad freeze. So I don't know. Yeah. I know Key West has a few lipstick palms. Key West does, and they also have them. Like, there are people growing them all the way up to, like, I think near Tampa Beach even, and there's people growing up in like Hollywood, Florida. There's people growing them like in mainland Florida, but they either protect them or just. I know someone has them one actually growing in standing water in their pond in like Miami or something, and it's survived the freezes there. But you know, freeze. It's not actually a freeze. It survived the slightly cooler weather there. But what's it called? It definitely does get colder, and you got to sort of have it in that standing water to help moderate temperatures. But no, there are some long-term ones in mainland Florida, but I'd say, you know, the only place they're very reliably hardy is in the Keys, and even the Keys again, that gets in the 50s. I feel bad for all those poor people. Can you imagine? I mean, like 99 out of 99, like 300s. I mean, the average winter pretty much every day in Miami is pleasant, but I'd say, like, 364 or 363 out of the 365 days in Miami are like 70s plus and humid, and it's beautiful. I mean, in summer it's crazy hot. I went there in March, got a horrible sunburn, but it was still amazing experience. I love Miami, but could you imagine going there for winter break and having weather in the 40s and 50s, and you're trying to go to the beach and stuff? I feel terrible for anyone like that. That's why you want to go to the, you want to either check the weather or go somewhere truly warm if you can. Truly without a freeze, you know. But it is just something funny. Apparently, like the Bahamas also get some cold weather because Bahamas is right off of Florida. And apparently my mom would go to Miami Beach every winter. It was always like gorgeous weather. And then one winter she said it was like in the 40s or 50s. She said they actually went home early because it was just, you know, what do you do in Miami? You go to the beach and you go to, I mean, for me, obviously I go around looking at palms, taking videos and going to the Arboretums, but most people just go there to go to the beach. So it is something to think about. It's actually interesting, but I'd say the average winter in Miami every single day is going to be beach weather basically. But occasionally you'll have like 1 or 2 days in the 40s or 50s, you know, nothing terrible, but it is interesting. Anyways. And then the summers there are just brutal, like here, kind of, but even more humid. I know, same latitude as Tampa in Europe is zone 13. Oh my gosh. Same latitude. Wait, is Tampa's the same latitude as like somewhere in... Oh, you're saying if you continue, because I'm assuming Tampa, because I know DC is exact same latitude, like exact as Lisbon, Portugal, where my aunt lives. And obviously Lisbon, I didn't get a video of it, sadly, but I saw some beautiful, beautiful royal palms growing there. Sadly, a bit of a stretch here. You know, the northernmost royal palms I know of in the East Coast are in Jacksonville, Florida, right on the Georgia border. I bet you could probably grow some in southern Florida. Excuse me, southern Florida. They're native to southern Florida. I bet you could grow some in southern Georgia, southernmost Georgia. But it would certainly be a, to say the least, a stretch in up here. You know, once you get out of there, I actually wonder if Charleston with like they have a queen palms there. I wonder if you could grow one marginally there. But you know, once you get north of there, just freezing. But yeah, look at this needle palm, just stunning. I mean, isn't that just beautiful? Really amazing. And yeah, Tampa. Yeah, Tampa, I'm assuming would be like across from like, I don't know, like Western Sahara or something, somewhere like in North Africa. You know, if we're the same as Lisbon, because we're like at southernmost Europe where we are. But yeah, Tampa's cool. I love Tampa. There's coconuts there. It's a transition zone. It's a transition zone between the subtropics and tropics. I'd say the southernmost third of Florida is truly tropical. And then the rest is subtropical. But you know, you've coconuts probably through at least half of Florida, up, you know, growing marginally up, like probably like, you know, 5/6 of the way up to Georgia on the East Coast, and then on the West Coast you have them up to like, you know, north of Tampa Bay. So, you know, it's interesting. But those bad freezes can knock them out pretty low down, especially in central Florida where you're away from the coast. It gets a lot colder, or you know, a bit colder, let's say, enough to knock a coconut palm out. There's some in Orlando though, which is like north central Florida. So. Anyways, yeah, that's that, but that's the beautiful needle palm. Isn't that just stunning? Unbelievable. It still blows me away, the size of that palm. You know, we may not have as many gorgeous palms here as, you know, as places like London. We may not have like washies or anything like that, but we have some huge trackies and some huge needle palms, and sable minor too, which is pretty awesome. Gotta love it. You gotta appreciate what you have, you know what I mean? It's, I always wish we were warmer here. Especially considering that it sort of angers me that, you know, places just across the pond in Europe are so much milder at the same latitude. But you know what? It is what it is. We got what we got, and there's still some nice palms here. Beautiful Dawn redwood there, and yeah, look at that. That's the view across the way. That's the Anacostia River. It's the other river that runs through DC. It's actually right there, right down there, right there. And then that's a view across to DC. That's the stadium across there. Yeah. No, but there's obviously plenty of gorgeous palms here. I look forward to when I grow up returning here. You know, my dream obviously is to live somewhere warm. Honestly, where I just was in Mexico was pretty ideal. You know, I don't know what the employment is there, but that was pretty amazing. That is like, if I could live anywhere, cost wasn't an issue, language wasn't an issue. Obviously, I do want to learn Spanish, but if I could live anywhere, I would probably live there or somewhere like a tropical desert, because I think, in my opinion, not in my opinion, from what I've read and from what I feel like it just what grows where, I feel like the tropical desert climate has the widest growing range of anywhere in the world, especially somewhere like there. I mean, the summers are actually quite hot, but they're not like enough to kill even, you know, plenty of tropical plants or like temperate plants. I feel like you can still grow a lot of stuff here, southern magnolia, etc. So crazy wide growing range. Really cool. This is the other nice thing about DC. Look at that hill there. It's a big hill. This is the other nice thing about DC is that it is southern magnolia heaven. And you know what? I never take these for granted here. You got them on every street here in DC. But look at this. This is just, I mean, look at this. That's a holly there, and then the rest are all southern magnolia all across the way with a few hollies interspersed there. Just gorgeous. Look at the size of these. So these are probably at least 100 years old. And they're ancient southern magnolia all over DC. just a stunning tree, and it is just remarkable how hardy they are. They're just something right. They look like something right out of the tropics, and in fact, they're a subtropical tree. But it's just amazing how hardy they are. It still blows me away. Athens, Greece are only 13C with a low of 7C in January. Zone 10A, and it even snows. Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I know I've seen a picture on Palm Talk of a beautiful royal palm growing on the street there. So certainly nice and mild, but yeah, no doubt. In places like Southern California, even they get, chilly at night at least in winter there. So it is interesting. Beautiful sweet bay magnolia. This is actually a native it's a semi-evergreen species. It loses its leaves in colder climates and retains them in warmer climates. Here in DC, it keeps probably about 3/4 of its leaves, loses some. And I've seen some that are mostly defoliated, and I've seen some that are completely evergreen in winter. So it's interesting. A native species, though. A native evergreen magnolia. Right there. They're called magnolia bogs where they grow. And I've never seen them. Evergreens are so rare in the wild here, evergreen trees at least. I'd love to go and take a video of one of those because they're gorgeous. They're basically a subtropical tree besides the fact they grow up to like New York. But most of their range is subtropical, and they are beautiful. Evergreen in winter, so it's pretty cool. Tropical desert in Egypt have lots. Oh, yes. Someone took a picture of some coconut palms along the Nile or along the Red Sea. I think it was along the Red Sea, actually. Is it the Red Sea? I think it's the Red Sea. In southeastern Egypt. Yeah, it's amazing. And also someone took a picture of the southernmost Israel, apparently. I didn't know it was actually so mild. And I knew it was mild, but I would assume it was like similar to Southern California, and it is. But it's slightly milder, like 1 or 2 degrees milder. And someone took a picture of a huge coconut palm there, like it's someone's backyard. Someone he knows in like one of the cities in southernmost Israel. I looked at the weather there. I think the average high in winter is about 70 degrees, and the average low is like 40 something. So a huge temperature swing. It's out in the desert, obviously, so it's probably like pretty similar to Palm Springs, California, which also has, I think, a high of 70 in winter. But there's a huge coconut palm growing there, probably about 30 feet, and it's got like a curved trunk and everything. Looks stunning. There are some in California, obviously. I was thinking about this. Coconuts, obviously, in the U.S., they only grow reliably in Florida, parts of Florida, obviously South Florida, Hawaii. I'd say those are the only 2 states where you can grow them 100% reliably, no question. In parts of them, obviously Hawaii, everywhere in Hawaii, besides like the mountains, you can grow them. You can actually ski in Hawaii also. There's snow in Hawaii, which is crazy. But what was I going to say? I don't actually know what I was going to say. Where am I? I'm trying to remember where I am. Oh, where's those needle palms? Oh, they must be up here. Okay, sorry guys. I'm trying to remember. There's some more needle palms up here that I'm trying to show you. But anyways, and then also, obviously, parts of Southern California, there's coconuts, even though they're marginal there. Parts of South Texas. Southern California is a place where it's like the freezes aren't the same, so you can grow coconuts marginally in the sense that every winter is basically going to be the same. So it's going to be like cool weather at night and just cool in the day. So you can sort of just eke them by and then get them to a good size there. And there are some beautiful ones. I think the desert's actually probably better than the coast. There's some beautiful ones out in the desert, Southern California. I actually saw a picture of one in Phoenix, Arizona, about 30 feet tall. Insane coconut palm in I think Tempe or it's one of the suburbs of Phoenix, Arizona. That blew my mind because I think actually, despite how cold the winters are, the winters are very mild there, but for coconuts, they're a bit cool. Despite how cool the winters are, I think the summers are actually probably the trickiest thing there. The average high there in summer is 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Frequently gets above 115. Got above 120 last year. Fried the royal palms that were there. There's some huge royal palms. Fried, just completely killed them from that summer heat. So the fact that the coconut palm makes it through there kind of blows my mind. And I still couldn't believe it. I know there were a few that made it through a few years, but the fact that some made it through, that long to that size blows me away. It was planted right on a pond, so good location. And then obviously South Texas is where the kind of place where it's an East Coast climate in the sense that, every winter, an average winter, if all winters were average winters, they'd be bulletproof there. But the bad freezes, like what just happened, that's what kills coconuts. So there are 30-foot coconuts that produce seed in South Texas, but bad winters can kill them. And also, I know some that survive that cold blast, so they're not like gonna die necessarily, but they can die in the worst of freezes. Yeah. Saw a lot of coconuts along the way. Oh wow, did you go there? That's awesome. None in the Red Desert. Yes. I think a desert probably would be tough just with the summer heat, although obviously they can make it. Like where I was with the coconuts in Cabo San Lucas, the average high in summer is in the 90s, which is hot, but compared to the 107 degree average high in Phoenix, Arizona, you know, seems kind of cool almost. So yeah, I was in Phoenix, and Phoenix is just, for those of you, I mean, it's just an amazing place. I love Phoenix, Arizona. You go hiking right next to the city, the mountains. The city literally just edges up right into the mountains, and then you can go hiking. The saguaros around it. I mean, it's just an insanely gorgeous place. Arizona is unbelievable. But I talked to the people there, and some people have lived there, and they said, yeah, in summer you either go hiking, you know, at daybreak before the sun comes up, or you just basically stay inside. You can't walk your dog in the middle of the day. Even when you wake up, it's like 90 degrees or 90 something, but that seems cool compared to the highs there. It is insane. It's like Palm Springs, California. It's insane. Palm Springs, California, in summer, you know, in summer it's in the average high there is the same. It's like 107 or something. And then along the coast, the average high is like in the 60s or 70s. So it's just, I mean, I've never heard of a contrast so large between 2-hour drive from the desert to the coast. It's just insane, the difference. Anyways, sorry. That's, but yeah, that's along the Red Sea coast, it was 105. That's crazy. Aswan was 100. Oh my gosh. So, okay, yeah, that obviously the water moderates it, even though it's a desert. It's like Cabo San Lucas. It's hot in summer, but it's not crazy. You go inland, yeah, it's like when we landed, it was like in the 80s, I think, in Cabo San Lucas or in Los Cabos. And then you drive to the coast, it's in the 70s. Even just a bit inland, it's a lot hotter. And the lows are lower, but the highs are higher. So that's what the water does. But yeah, another beautiful needle palm here. Just stunning. Sorry guys, I gotta check my battery. Oh, good. I was worried for a second because I know my phone got down to like 10% yesterday, and I was worried I didn't charge it, but I'm at 66%. I did indeed charge it, so we are all good, folks. Beautiful needle palm here. Just gorgeous. I gotta tell you, I know some people that in the past that have said that they, you know, some people say they like needle palms, but they, you know, they're not that hardy. I'm sorry, no, they like them because they're hardy, but they don't find them that attractive. And others just don't find, you know, don't really like them that much. I gotta tell you, you know, I love them because they're hardy, but I also find them very attractive. I would grow them in a warm climate, even if, you know, hardiness wasn't an issue. So there's some vines growing on these. I think they're just gorgeous palms on their own. You know, you got to give them some credit. God, there's some vines growing here that they're taking over, but I truly find them to be gorgeous palms in their own right, even, you know, when hardiness is not an issue. I know there's some beautiful ones in Southern California that have like 5 feet of trunk on them. I would grow them if I lived in Southern California, I'll tell you that, or wherever I lived. I think they're just gorgeous, and I think it's also kind of cool to see them in warm climates, because they obviously do well there too. But yeah, beautiful needle palms there. Full, gorgeous, even though obviously a lot smaller than the one I just showed you. Still beautiful. And yeah, so here's the Alabama state tree. They have, as I mentioned, they have the state trees of every tree. And they have them, if they can't grow here, they have them a similar relative of the tree filled in. This one obviously can grow here. Longleaf pine, this is a subtropical species native to the southern U.S. Beautiful, I love pines. Looks kind of like a loblolly pine, but I guess sort of thinner crown. Beautiful, you see these growing all around the south. And then here, another beautiful needle palm. This one's slightly bigger. Just beautiful. Leaves look a bit tattered, probably from the wind or something, but obviously no cold damage ever. You know, I mean, look at these fronts. It's fully green, no spotting whatsoever. Just perfect. Beautiful. Rhabdophyllum hystrix needle palm. There you go. So, most common palm in DC. Again, I don't know how so many homeowners in DC, and obviously it's a very small percentage, but still the fact that like whatever I have videos of now, like 50 different people in DC, 50 different homes that I've seen, and obviously there's probably dozens and dozens more, have gotten their hands on a needle palm from I have no idea where. And some of them probably aren't even palm lovers. They just planted one. How they got their hands on them, I have no idea. I mean, many of them probably went to specialty nurseries or found them online or something, but it's pretty remarkable, actually. If they were, I always say, and I know this is true, obviously if they were in nurseries here, they'd be planted everywhere. Also, I mean, the trunking sables, they need to be they need to be in nurseries. It's a you know, I think it's a crime that the trunking sables are not more widely used anywhere. I mean, the fact that we can grow sable Birmingham here, I got a video of the one yesterday in DC, which I'm gonna be uploading shortly, at that house. Fully hardy species here, it seems, or at least, you know, survives unprotected, you know, pretty well here. So I think that species should be used a lot more. Sable Brazoria and Sable Louisiana also. They're just rare is the problem, but fully hardy species here. Beautiful beech tree there, nice white bark on that. People carve their names into it, which I hate. Don't do that. Don't be a tree vandalizer. People always do, like, you know, carve a heart or whatever. Don't do that. It harms the tree. It sort of mars the view for people. Don't be a tree destroyer, tree vandalizer. Yeah, hemlock there. These are the trees that are getting killed off, unfortunately. But a nice evergreen, nice native evergreen. Much more common just west of us in the Appalachians, in the mountains. Red Sea is the hottest sea in the world. So the lows were 88. That's crazy. Wow. Sea temperature of 87. That must have been almost so hot it didn't even feel refreshing if it's like 100 and something out. But that's crazy. Lows were 88. I feel like even not Miami, even in like, I feel like even in Phoenix, the lows are like still like 79 or 80 when it's like in the hundreds in summer, because it just, the desert climate makes it fluctuate so much. You know, I was in New Mexico. The hottest temperature I ever felt was in June in New Mexico. I went to White Sands National Park in New Mexico. One of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. Incredible. But it was 107 degrees out. It's a dry climate, so it doesn't feel as bad, but it was still crazy hot out. 107 Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is, like 40 Celsius or something. But, or like 45 maybe. But it was 107 out, and the white sands, actually, what they do is they're actually made of gypsum. So unlike black sand or like regular sand, I guess, they don't reflect the heat back. So it was a huge relief to have this sand. It was actually cool to the touch. So it actually cooled it down quite a bit, which is really nice. But every day there, like, I think the high in one of the towns, we drove through Roswell, which is like that UFO town, you know, in New Mexico. The high was like 107 or something, like somewhere around there, 103 maybe. And the low was 55 degrees Fahrenheit. The low was lower than it is right now. So that just gives you an idea how insane the fluctuations are. It's just really crazy. Yeah, beautiful sunset view here. These are the columns, actually, when they did renovations at the U.S. Capitol, the Capitol building of the United States, just over there, actually just to the east, to the west, I mean. They actually removed some of these columns when they were doing renovations and put them here, I don't know how long ago. And these are from the 1800s, the columns, I think. They're quite old. And they got a fountain up there. It's a really cool view. Beautiful bald cypress trees there, too. Nice meadow here. Yeah, that's crazy. Red Sea. Yeah, Red Sea is just, I mean, it's gotta feel nice though, jumping in that in the middle of summer. Phoenix does not have a sea to cool off in, but everyone has pools there. And you also have, the amazing thing is like I've heard someone once compare living in Phoenix in the summer to living in Minneapolis in the winter. For those of you who don't know, Minneapolis, Minnesota, coldest major city in the US. I mean, maybe actually, I mean, depends on how you count a major city, but Minneapolis, the average low in winter in January, I think it's 6 degrees Fahrenheit. The average, I think, is 22 or something. So brutally cold. When it was like, you know, in the like -5 or something in Cincinnati, it was probably like -15 or something or colder in Minneapolis without wind chill, cold with wind chill. And there's a huge difference because, you know, not only in Minneapolis, you know, you can go in your house to warm up, but you can also go in your house in Phoenix to cool down. And I would say, you know, it's hard. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's harder to get heat to your house than it is to get air conditioning. Although I don't know about that. But in my opinion, the biggest difference is that, you know, in Minneapolis, you can drive, you know, you drive like 10 hours in any direction and you're still freezing. In Phoenix, you drive like 30 minutes into the mountains. There's like 7,000 or 8,000 foot mountains there. You drive there, it's 107 degrees out. It's like in the 70s or 60s in the mountains. So it's a huge difference. That's a huge difference. You know, if you're, you know, boiling hot in Phoenix in the summer and, you know, there's like the tar can like melt on the road. It's insane how hot it is there. But, you know, you can drive up in the mountains. There's a place called Summer Haven near Phoenix, which gets, you know, there's like skiing near Phoenix actually. So you go to Summer Haven in summer, and it does what its name suggests. It's like in the average high of like 74 or something in summer. So you drive up there and it's pleasant weather. So that's the difference in my opinion. And also I'd rather be in brutal heat than brutal cold. Some people say they'd rather, what's it called? Oh, I'm getting lost in a maze here. Some people say they'd rather freeze to death than boil to death. I'd rather boil to death and be with palms than freeze to death, I think. Well, I don't know. Anyways, sorry, that's just a lot of random stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. A dead mole there. I'm not going to show that for the camera, but sad to see. The moles are kind of fascinating creatures. Uh, so many people in the Tresco Abbey Gardens. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. I saw that in Huntington Gardens, California. Huntington Gardens is amazing. You know, they've got like everything: saguaro, tropical palms, banyan trees, like you can't believe, etc. But the palms, a lot of them, and the banyan trees too, because they have that nice white bark. People carve their names. People just can't resist it. It's terrible. It's awful. I hate to see that. You know, in my opinion, that's worse than vandalizing a building. Although I'm not supporting vandalizing buildings, but you know, building vandalism can be repaired. Tree vandalism, not so much. And you get enough of that, and it starts to either, you know, you get like rot into the tree. You know, those holes start to open up, and also eventually, just you know, it can damage or kill a tree. So terrible to see. I really hate that. Yeah, just awful. That's terrible. But I also, the thing that shocked me was that someone posted about the palms of Tresco Abbey Gardens. First of all, you got, you know, probably dozens of species there. But they said that the Nicau palms were the most common palms by far there. And someone else said that the Phoenix canariensis is the most common palm in the UK, which both of those shocked me. I would have assumed Tragicarbus fortunei. Despite how common Phoenix canariensis are in London, they're everywhere. I still would have thought windmill palm would be the most common just because of how common it is everywhere. But apparently Phoenix canariensis, people say, is the most common in the UK. Or maybe they were saying in London, not the UK overall. But it's crazy. And also, the number of Nicau palms shocked me. I couldn't believe they were more common than washies, phoenix, drakees, etc. And also the fact that they, those Nicau palms, they're like naturalizing everywhere. And there's also like an Arconta phoenix, which shocked me. Nicau palms are so tropical looking. It's amazing. I saw some when I was out in California. Obviously, they're, you know, there's a number of them. They're not actually that common, but they're decently common, I would say, somewhat. But just a beautiful species. Rhapalostylus sapida, native to New Zealand. The only palms native to the North and South Island of New Zealand, I believe. Then there's also Rhapalostylus bowerii, or bowerii, native to like the Chatham Islands or something, one of the islands off the coast. Here are our beautiful live oaks here. These are stunning, looking better than ever. Unfortunately, there's some English ivy on the trunks. As much as I love all the plants of the UK, this is one that I am not going to be supporting. I'm sorry. I'm not an English ivy fan, and I know people in the UK hate it too, because it's actually like invasive in its own native habitat. Our version of that's invasive in its native habitat, I'm trying to find one. I just saw one a second ago. Is the I kind of like them because they're, you know, they're evergreen, but the eastern red cedar, that's actually an invasive species to a certain degree. Like if you have a plowed hillside, it'll just take over, and they'll take over that hillside. But here we have our live oaks. Someone told me this was a Texas live oak. I feel like I read that, but maybe it's not. This one, it's strange. It's a live oak, but it almost defoliates in winter. It makes me wonder if it's like a Florida cultivar, one of the non-hardy ones. You can already see some of the brown leaves on it after that freeze, but still mostly green. And then this one is like completely green over here. You know, nice to see evergreen oaks here in winter. Beautiful. Quercus fusiformis is, I think, the Texas live oak. Yeah. And then, but I believe these are both southern live oaks, because some people treat Texas live oak as a variety of southern live oak. So I just call them southern live oaks now, because that's what I found on the website. There's like a website that tells you the name of every plant here. But beautiful live oaks, nice to see here in DC. Beautiful. Cold is much worse to deal with. Absolutely, Cal. No doubt about it. 107 degrees in New Mexico. I'll take that any day. It's actually not that terrible. 107 degrees in Florida. That's a different story, but I'd still take that over the cold. Although, you know, I don't know if it's ever gotten that hot anywhere in Florida, but it does get into the 90s frequently there. Anyways, but yes, cold is much worse to deal with, no doubt about it. Get imported from Spain and can chiefly be grown wells. Yes. I bet you're right. More people. I hope that palm beetle doesn't spread from Spain. I know they have strict import laws, which actually helps keep the beetles out. But I really hope that doesn't spread, because I know there's the invasive. When I was in Portugal, so many of the phoenix there were dead from that beetle, the red palm weevil. And now in California, we got the southern palm, the South American palm weevil, and there's a fusarium wilt. We got all sorts of palm diseases which are killing palms. Cost the cities thousands of dollars to remove. It's terrible, but hopefully they stay out of the UK. Yeah, those beetles are a problem. That makes sense, though. Yeah, I bet that's true. Yeah, lots of phoenix palms there, no doubt. Hey, Southeast Ireland rainforest. Thanks for joining in. Great to see you on here. How is the weather there? It is 60 degrees Fahrenheit here right now. I think around 15, 16 Celsius, something like that. Maybe it's 61 by now. I don't know. But it's beautiful out. It is, yeah, going to be in the 60s for a few days. So gorgeous weather. Happy New Year to you. English ivy makes a mess. No doubt about that. It is. a huge problem here. English ivy and kudzu are the two most hated weeds here. Kudzu is that invasive vine from East Asia, Taiwan, China, I think the Philippines as well. Terrible invasive species, just like English ivy. English ivy is terrible. And they both blanket all the trees here. It's awful to see, but there are efforts to prevent it, but it's just all over. I mean, you're never going to remove it. It can never be removed. It is so widespread here that it's you know, from Maine, it's basically from Canada to Florida. It's everywhere. Yeah. So Southwest Island rainforest. I know. Unfortunately, your washi was not looking too great. I don't know if you saw my update. Most of my palms, the spears are still intact, but some of them got a little toasty, a little bit, you know, of that crispy look. But hopefully, yeah, hopefully your Phoenix canarensis is doing well. Oak is native to Ireland. Yes. There are native oaks in Ireland. I know that. What's it called? There's one native to the UK that I know, which I'm assuming is the same species native to Ireland. It's like the English oak or something. I don't know. That's cool though. Yeah, definitely native oaks in Ireland. That's awesome. Southwest Island rainforest did your palms. Yeah, let me know about your palms. I hope they're all doing well, Southwest Island rainforest, because you guys got some cold weather in the 20s. I think maybe even like 17. Yeah, I think got into the teens Fahrenheit where you were. Some did Cal. It's 4 Celsius. 4 Celsius. Okay, that's quite cold. 4 Celsius. What is that? Like 40, 39, 40 Fahrenheit, something like that. It is, yeah, like around 15, 16 Celsius here right now. And it's going to be like close to 20 Celsius on Wednesday, right around 66 Fahrenheit. At least it's projected as of now. Beautiful day here in Virginia. Hey, Adam, Pauly, great to have you in here. Where in Virginia are you? Are you in Northern Virginia, closer to DC, or are you in Siva, southeastern Virginia, or elsewhere? In the mountains, central Virginia. Virginia is a nice palmy state. It's funny because when you go down to Richmond, Virginia, it seems to be, you know, people say it's the same winter weather as DC, but it's obviously a bit milder because you got huge trackies actually everywhere there. I was surprised how common they are there. Huge trackies everywhere. They seem to be pretty bulletproof there. And then obviously southeastern Virginia, Virginia Beach, you got Washingtonia and Phoenix canarensis, at least marginal there. And, you know, palmetto everywhere, butea, etc. So nice palmy state we got there, Virginia. I mean, we're about from the Virginia border, we're probably about a 6-minute drive to Virginia. You just go straight across DC. The National Mall is like straight down there. And then you just go straight across to Virginia. But to Virginia Beach, about 3 hours from here. Just the border, probably about 3.5 to the waterfront. I want to go there sometime soon because they stay in the 50s all winter. They have nice balmy weather all winter long, whereas we're a bit colder. We're about 10 degrees colder here, or about 8 or something. But yeah, I'm gonna head back here now. Beautiful National Capitol columns here. Beautiful. Phoenix canarensis is recovering. I'm glad to hear that, Southwest Island rainforest. I hope you guys get some nice mild weather soon, because or hopefully you're having some, because we need a mild rest of the winter. Otherwise, spear poles are incoming. Otherwise, yeah, let's just hope for some mild weather from here on out. Look at that beautiful beech tree. Look at the size of that. Huge beech tree. Beautiful. The trunk on that thing is massive. See, the forests around here, I don't find them attractive in winter. I think they're kind of ugly, obviously, all the gray, but I like some of the white bark trees like the beech. These ones are nice, I think. I think, in my opinion, for me to like a deciduous tree, it's either got to have really cool foliage, or, I mean, usually it's got to have nice bark in winter, because for a tree to be brown in winter, it's got to have, I think, nice bark, like the what's it called? The Native American sycamore trees. Those have bark that looks sort of like eucalyptus. I love those. I also made a video, by the way, stay tuned for this one. Some sweet gum trees, which are native, still completely green at the beginning of January, end of December. Still completely green. That shocked me. I could not believe that. A native deciduous tree that's still completely green. Stay tuned for that. It might boggle your mind. See if you guys can handle it. No, it's crazy. It surprised me a lot, but cool to see. Eastern VA. Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, Richmond. I hope to make it down there soon. I've been there once, only once before. It's actually no, twice actually. I've only been there for palms once before. And if you actually, Adam, Paul, you might have seen them, but if you go on my channel, search up Richmond, Virginia palms or something like that. I have videos. I went there during like a snowstorm, like a blizzard, and I have videos of some huge trackies that were getting weighed down by the snow. Pretty cool. So yeah, I do some videos, palms in Richmond. There's quite a few more that I found out about since then, so I need to get back there. Beautiful sweet bay magnolias. This is the native species here. Native sweet bay magnolia. It's a semi-evergreen species, keeps most of its foliage in winter, but a beautiful magnolia, no doubt. And they also have a hybrid magnolia here, hybrid Southern Cross sweet bay magnolia, which I think is pretty cool. This is the eastern red cedar. You see it like growing like this a lot, like on the edge of the woods, like sort of in this disturbed soil. It's our native species here, but it's also somewhat invasive in like fields and stuff. And it gets sort of brown in winter. It's really weird. You see them like brown a lot in winter. They almost look like they're half dead. I think there's like some sort of like rust or some sort of a fungus that's been killing them, but really unusual. Anyways, definitely warm in DC. Yeah, no doubt, Adam Paula. You guys are probably, my guess is you're like 3 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than us in winter. Even though you're further inland, you're also further south, and you're probably not that much further inland, away from like the bay or something. So nice and mild there. Kind of shocked me how many big trackies there are there. Really cool. And I probably know of at least 15 or something. Because I probably found about 4. I saw 3 when I was there. I knew of like 1 other or 2 others. And then someone posted on Palm Talk after I posted pictures of them. Someone posted like a bunch of links. If you look up Richmond, Virginia, windmill palms, someone posted a bunch of links to that. I know there's one of like probably like 7 or something other palms, other big trackies. There's one at the I think it's called the Lewis Gintner Botanic Garden, or whatever the Richmond Botanic Garden is. There's a huge needle palm there. And there's some sagos and some sable minor at the Edgar Allan Poe House, which also has like a live oak that's like insanely massive. I also found out about a live oak in Virginia I need to get a video of. Long story anyways. Oh, beautiful plants in here. I wonder if this is open now, this greenhouse. But what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. But lots of nice palms in Richmond. And I gotta get back there soon. Pretty cool. We're sort of in that transition zone between where palms are only grown by palm lovers and where palms start to become common and are grown by everyone. We're in a transition zone very much between the temperate and the subtropical. We're more on the temperate side here in DC. Richmond, probably more of a transition zone. You start to see the loblolly pines everywhere around Richmond. Richmond's more of an evergreen southern pine forest. We're more in the deciduous range here. So, anyways. Trachycarpus still grow. Lost some of your tree ferns. I'm so sorry, Dara. You know what? Leave them, and you should spray some hydrogen peroxide on them. I don't know if that works on tree ferns. I would assume it does, but wait till spring, because I know plenty of people who have had their tree ferns defoliate and then they recover. So I would wait, but hopefully they recover. And I'm sorry about that. Of course, Trachycarpus, what was I trying to say? No doubt. That's what I was trying to say. No doubt that they are still kicking, because those are tough palms. Fully hardy in Ireland, no doubt. It's going to be 70 here this week. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yes. I think I got a high around 66, 67 here in DC. So that's awesome. Nice and warm. Beach is also native to Ireland. Yes. No doubt. I know they're native to the UK as well. And the UK has a lot of the same plants as Ireland. So, native beach there. I think it's called the European beach. That's native all across Europe, which is awesome to see. I like beech trees. They're kind of cool, despite the fact they're deciduous. You can see them all the way across the way. Nice and white in winter. They got that nice white bark. So it's cool to see. Just picked up a nice stable minor. Oh, that's awesome. Mediterranean fan palm. He's not on here today, but a good friend of mine who joins my live streams often, Palm Tree Dude, he is just north of Richmond. He has a amazing windmill palm. It's got 2 big trunks on it now, and it's got a bunch of suckers. He made a video of it. It's defoliated a few times, but it has never been protected, and it's a good size, unprotected Mediterranean fan palm, sort of like between Richmond and DC. It's crazy. So good palm to zone push with in that area. So yeah. Let me see this. Yeah, and sable minor, obviously fully hardy. I'm gonna show you guys some beautiful sable minor in a second. Lots of huge live oaks and oh yeah, no doubt. I know some big ones there, and someone just sent me a link to some huge ones here in Northern Virginia that sort of look like down south. I know there's like some good sized ones here, like at the Arboretum, but I've never seen one that size. So there's one in Arlington, Virginia, just across the river, about probably a 10-minute drive from here. I'm gonna make a video of that one soon. Beautiful. And there's also this area down by the water, just a bit in a town just south of DC, they've got about 15 foot windmill palms planted out front, unprotected on the waterfront, so far as I'm aware. I think they put Christmas lights on them, and that's it. So I'm gonna get a video of that soon. So many nice palms here. So many new palms I'm learning about. It's amazing. There's always new content to film, which I love, obviously. This is one of my favorite things to do. I love taking videos. Before my YouTube channel, I was sort of like, I'm just going to take videos of the local palms here, and then eventually I'm going to, move to a warm climate, and that's going to be what I really love. And then, I was always impressed by the palms here, but I was never like, I'm going to get really into it. And now, when I started growing them, and now, I start finding out about more and more, I'm really sort of more into the hardy palm growing. I almost want to move to a cold climate and start zone pushing. Almost. I think I still would want to move to a warm climate if I had my choice, but right now it's DC, and you know what? I kind of love the hardy palm growing. It's almost, it's fun and it's rewarding seeing them survive the winters. It's also tragic to see them die, but that's not too often here with like trackies and sable minor stuff like that. I'm glad the days are getting longer again. Yes. Yeah, days have been getting longer for about 10 days now. So we're gonna have, by June, days are nice and long. I don't like the short days either. I like the sunlight. I also like rain, but I don't know. Yeah, I like the long days. I think everyone does. That's awesome. Yeah. Clear skies. Max UV is a 0.4. Oh, got it. That's awesome. At the bay, the deciduous oaks didn't get colored leaves until December. That's crazy. Yeah, and the sweet gums are still, still green here, or at least some of them are. So that is awesome to see. The center of the tree fern is gone. Oh gosh, God, I'm sorry. Well, I don't know what else to say. I don't honestly know that much about tree ferns because, as you may know, we cannot grow them here. But hopefully, I would just say stick with it. Maybe put some hydrogen peroxide on it. See if they make it. That's what happens every few winters in places like the Pacific Northwest, where you are, Dara. They just, they can get knocked out, but they can also just defoliate and recover. So I bet you some of them might recover. But I'm sorry. Yeah, Washingtonia. It was looking a little. Yours was looking a little rough. I put some hydrogen peroxide or copper fungicide. Spray it down the crown. See if the spear poles. Did the spear pole on the Washingtonia, Dara? If the spear pole, put some spray the crown. Even if it didn't, I would do that. I think I'm gonna do that with mine. Maybe you would like to warm but not hot climate where you can slightly zone push, such as northern. Yes, absolutely. I've thought about that a lot. Honestly, if I had my choice, I think the UK honestly is such a fascinating climate to me. I honestly would love to live there, somewhere in the southern England and zone push. It's just fascinating to me. Although it's one of those things like when you're in a cold climate, you're like, wow, I really should be living in a cold climate and zone pushing in a place like the UK. And then when I go to a place like Mexico and see like coconuts everywhere and huge palms, I'm like, no, of course this is where I want to live. It's like sort of where you are is what you're into. I was like, when I was in Mexico, I'm like, why would you live in Southern California when you can live here, which is even warmer? And then when you're in like DC, you wish you were in Southern California sometimes. Anyways, I don't know what that means really, but you're sort of like want to live in the climate. When you're in a colder climate, you sort of become interested in plants there. And yeah, no, Northern California is fascinating. Brookings, Oregon, which is right on the California border, also fascinating. Yeah, exactly. Florida's really cool. Like, basically, I don't think I'd ever want to live somewhere where you could just perfectly grow everything. Like, I feel like in obviously in a humid climate, you're gonna have trouble growing dry climate palms, but zone pushing with like a brahea in Florida and like trying to get a dry climate plant to grow in there, you're just gonna see it get spotted and die. That's different than zone pushing with a hardiness issue. Like, I feel like even if I lived in Miami, I would have fun zone pushing with like lipstick palms and stuff. I need to live somewhere where I can zone push. Southern California, great for zone pushing, even though it's obviously a warm climate. You can still zone push with coconuts there. I would love that. Like, and even like Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, you can zone push with lipstick palms there. I would love to see how a lipstick palm would do there. So I need some sort of zone pushing, whether it's warm or cold climate. But yeah, absolutely. And I'm fascinated by the UK's climate. Obviously I would have to become a citizen probably to live there. But, I love it. I'm just fascinated by it. Maybe move to VB. Yes, Virginia Beach is a fascinating climate for me. Albuquerque, New Mexico, also a fascinating one. That is another place that just entices me very much. Average lows there in winter are in the 20s Fahrenheit, freezing. Average highs there are in the 50s, nice and balmy. So you got these crazy fluctuations, which of course limits what you can grow there, but you got big washies there. It's awesome. Yes, Virginia Beach is fascinating to me also. Yes, and also pretty mild summers too. They're not as bad as like Florida nearly. Northern Florida is hot with a few days. Yes, exactly. Northern Florida is, and there's royal palms all the way up to the Georgia border, as I mentioned, on the coast, and they're probably all the way on the Gulf Coast too. There are big royal palms in southern Louisiana, believe it or not. Big 30-foot royal palms in southernmost Louisiana on the Gulf Coast. So they're hardy. Galveston, Texas, up near Louisiana, lots of royal palms. Yes, spear pole on the Washington. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yes, has a rotting smell. That is not good, Dara. Get some hydrogen peroxide or copper fungicide on there. If you have hydrogen peroxide, get some on there and spray it down that growth point. That is what you want to do. Um, Central London is perfect zone pushing. Yes, yes. Oh my God, yeah. The prices are insane. It makes like San Francisco or New York look like I don't know where. Look like somewhere cheap to say the least. Obviously, I love both places. San Francisco and New York are awesome, but unfortunately, it's very expensive. As is anywhere. DC is not cheap, but yeah, no, London is very expensive, unfortunately. But you know, all my cordy lines are gone too. Oh God, Dara, I'm sorry. I bet the cordy lines will grow back from the roots, no doubt. Hopefully, the Washingtonia regrows. Yeah, just spray some hydrogen peroxide down there. I'm so sorry, Dara. That's awful. You know what? It's what happens though. You gotta, you know, you're gonna obviously move past it, and you're hopefully some of those plants recover. And I would say just replant a washi if you can, because if it doesn't recover, because they are good plants to zone push with where you are. Oh, by the way, this is the National Bonsai Museum, National Bonsai and Penjing Museum. It's not open right now. I don't think. Maybe it's too late, but it is very cool. Look at that. They have. I remember one of the highlights in there was a 200-year-old bonsai, which like was planted in like they started growing in like the War of 1812, and it's crazy. I mean, they've got everything in there. It's it's amazing. They've got also like an indoor palm collection, courtyard. I have not seen it reopened since COVID. So since the pandemic, I've not seen it reopen. Sorry, I've not been back. I'm assuming it has. I'm sure it's reopened several years ago, but I just haven't been back in there. But I want to check it out at some point. Beautiful. Look at that architecture down there. Pagoda. Gorgeous. I love that architecture. And here we got, oh my God, this is so cool. These must be out here all year. I've never noticed this. These are like insane. Look at these prickly pear. So prickly pear experts, Southwest Hardy Palms, if you're there, any of you prickly pear experts, I want to know, is this Apusia elysiana? Because it looks different from mine. This is truly spineless. There's like 2 glochids on there. You can see in front of my finger. 2 gloches on there, but almost entirely spineless. I could almost like bite into this. This is a gorgeous prickly pear. I don't know. It looks different from mine. Almost looks like a punch of Ficus indica, the Indian fig or whatever they call it. But a beautiful species. And you got this mid-century modern crazy architecture here. Cool to see. But this is a beautiful species. I'm guessing they leave these out here year round if we're out here in like winter now. Beautiful, beautiful to see. Look at these prickly pear. So let me know on that one. And I should break off a pad of this. I want to take one of those pads home because that is gorgeous. I ran a 10-kilometer race today. Oh my gosh, Dara, that's amazing. 44 minutes, Jesus. Dara, I do not want to race against you. I would, I did cross country in middle school, and that's about it. And I am, let's just say I am a bit rusty. That is insane. 10 kilometers. Let's think about that. That's about 6 miles. So 644. What's 44 divided by 6? I'm trying to think. 42 divided by 6 is 7. So that's crazy. That's like a 7-minute mile average for 6 miles. That's insane. That's like better than my mile time for 1 mile. That's amazing, Dara. Congratulations. Yeah, Dara is a big runner. I know you do half marathons in the past. You've done those, so that is awesome. This pond here, by the way. Oh wow, look, they do have the fish out. Look at that thing. Oh my God, that's huge. So this, if you guys want to know how mild the winters are here, I'm not going to go telling you they're mild, but I would describe them more as cool as opposed to cold. You know, what really keeps them, you know, like sable palmetto from growing here is more the bad freezes than the average winters. And you know, trackies to some degree, although they obviously are pretty hardy here. But yeah, I mean, look at this. The pond's nice, completely unfrozen in the middle of winter. This thing probably almost never freezes. Almost every day here stays above freezing. I don't think we've had a single day where the average high is below freezing. Actually, there's probably one like during the deep freeze, but that's it. Maybe like a few days, but not frozen over. This pond was obviously here when it hit the low during the deep freeze. That is how mild we stay here. Pond is unfrozen, which is cool. Just in Charleston, SC, I would love. I know. It's fascinating, and also royal palms there. I don't think they'd be fully hardy there, but it would be interesting to zone push with them. I know people growing royal palms in southern Alabama, Louisiana, as I mentioned, probably the Gulf Coast of Mississippi too. So royal palms would be a good one there. And yes, there's huge queen palms in downtown Charleston, despite the fact that they won't even grow, you know, in the surrounding areas. The urban heat island is what helps them out, which is awesome. Love it. Yes, I would love it. Never been to Charleston, but it looks gorgeous. I really want to go. Charleston and New Orleans, I think, are the top cities in the U.S. that I want to go to. They both look gorgeous, both just really just beautiful, and I've never been to either. Sorry, guys. Golden barrel cactus, that's awesome, Dara. Those things I think are hardier than people report, or than the sources online say, because I've heard of plenty of people growing them in colder climates. It's amazing. The barrel cactus is flawless after the deep freeze. That is awesome. I wish we could grow them. We can't. But yeah, let's see this. Ficus indica and London grew. That's a crazy 3 feet. My gosh, my cacti grew, but they didn't grow like that. They probably, some of them sent out like 7 pads, but that's not 3 feet of growth for me. That's amazing. I always wonder if we can grow them here. I don't think we can, but Cal, were those a Ficus indica? Did you see this prickly pear I showed a few minutes ago? Were those do you know if those were Ficus indica? Because those kind of look like it. Like this looks like a Puncha Elysiana. This is like what I have, but this looks different from what I just showed. So I want to know if you guys have an answer. I can't find a tag on this one, but let's go through here. Just do a little walkthrough, shall we? Oh no, 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 no. Where's the magnolia? Oh, I think they cut down the magnolia. There was a huge magnolia here. What? That's terrible. They had a hybrid magnolia, hybrid, what's it called? A hybrid southern magnolia cross sweet bay magnolia. It must have been like right here or something. That's terrible. It was huge. I don't know what happened to it. Obviously not the cold. Fully hardy here, but that's terrible, terrible, terrible to see. But let's walk through. We've got a huge yucca here. This does not look like yucca rostrata. The fiber in there suggests like yucca alata or something. Yeah, it just says yucca species. Doesn't have the species listed. Gorgeous yucca here. Beautiful Puncha cacti there. This is where I got a few of my cacti from. This looks like a Puncha humifusa. Yeah, that's our native eastern prickly pear. So that's one cool thing about the U.S. is that if you live in 45 out of the 50 states, almost every state you have native cacti growing there. So that's a pretty cool thing that I like. There's native agave to the Midwest, by the way. It was recently reclassified as agave. It was previously something else. It was like Manfreda virginica, I think. It's got like Virginia in the name, which is native to the east, which is pretty darn cool. Native agave, and then look at these. So these are, I think, the Puncha Elysiana spineless prickly pear, if I'm not mistaken. I can't find a tag on any of these. Let's look here. Is that a tag? Oh yeah, Puncha Beaver Creek. Oh, I've heard of that. It's like a variety of a Puncha. I don't know what it is, but beautiful regardless. This is massive things. Little whatever that is succulent there. Beautiful Hespero. What is this? Hesperalo funifera. Yeah, these things are insane. Massive here. Almost as tall as me. Probably like 5 feet. It's up on a hill a little bit, so it's a bit smaller, but pretty cool. Puncha humifusa here with the pads on it. These are more spiny than any that I've seen. These are crazy spiny Puncha humifusa. I wonder where these are from. These do not look like local ones. These are big pads, and it's very spiny. You can see the fruit on them. Beautiful Puncha here. This is the Beaver Creek one. It's obviously very spotted. I think I actually took one of these before, the pads, and it ended up dying on me because I planted it in winter. But yeah, Puncha Elysiana. Oh, this is the Elysiana. Okay, so that's very interesting. These look very different than mine. That's very interesting. These look very, very different, but they're beautiful nonetheless. These ones are very purple. That's what happens with the cold. These look like, oh yeah, Puncha macrorhiza. This is the one I have in my house, a Puncha macrorhiza. A good species, no doubt. Puncha engelmannii variety. Oh, this is cow's tongue. This is the one I took last time. Ended up dying on me, but there's brittle prickly pear here too. These look like more macrorhiza. That's the Beaver Creek. I'm gonna try not to. This is more of the Beaver Creek Puncha. More of that Puncha fragilis. Here we go. You may be wondering, where is the cactus here? Here we go. Tiny little things. These are such a cool species. I actually collected some from here last time, and they are doing well at my home. Look at these tiny little things. They're just tiny little cacti. My finger next to it. Look at that. Tiny, tiny little prickly pear. I love them. They're such a cool species. Hardiest cactus in the world, native to like northern Canada, basically. As well as the U.S. Sable minor, big yucca, naturalized sable minor seedling here. Yeah, plenty more around the bend here. There's the pond there. Beautiful pine. I don't know what that is, but it's gorgeous. I'm sorry, guys. Let me... yes, I have five half marathons. That's amazing. 5 half marathons. I wish I could do that. Unfortunately, I have really bad asthma. That's why I have this cough still. I have really bad asthma, so I could not run half marathons. Like, even if it's below 60 degrees or even like 60 degrees Fahrenheit, my asthma kicks in. It's mostly cold induced, but it's terrible when I run. So that really sucks that I can't do that. But obviously, I think I'd suffer anyways with a half marathon. But that is amazing, Dara. I'm so impressed with that. And yeah, keep up the great work and let us know how they go, because that is awesome. Amazing. More light green, my Apache. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what it is. It doesn't look like a Apache, even though it is spineless. It looks different than, it looks like those spineless prickly pear. Maybe mine is wrong. The ID on mine someone told me it was Apache Elysiana, and I looked it up. It does kind of look like it, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's the Beaver Creek one. I think it looks like more like that. They look more light green. My Apache indica. Are there any royals on Jekyll Island? Cal, so is Jekyll Island. I'm assuming that's near the Florida border. I don't know if there actually are. But I wouldn't be surprised if there are some, and I also would not be surprised, even if there aren't, I'm sure they can grow there. They're huge, like 35. I actually have the Google Maps link to it if you guys want it. I can post it. There's like 4 of them growing at a house, literally in Jacksonville. Huge, 30, 40 foot plus royal palms there. Literally like miles from the Georgia border. So I bet they would grow there. They are hardy. They're pretty hardy. I mean, they're royals up in San Francisco Bay. And if you guys know San Francisco Bay, it's in the 60s there in summer. It's like crazy cool weather. I would almost think they could grow in Tresco. I don't quite think so. But yeah, they definitely can. I mean, I know Arboretum Phoenix are still kind of marginal in parts of there, but I would almost think they could just eke by there. I would not be surprised if Jekyll Island, though. They love the humidity and hot summers. That's what they love. But yeah, I have a bunch of Monclays. A bunch of Monclays. I don't know what that is. That's cool, though. That's awesome. Awesome, Dara. Thanks. Yeah, a bunch of Monclays. I'm going to look that up. That's cool. I'm always looking for new prickly pear for my garden. Low during the recent freeze was 28.9. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. I mean, it definitely got colder than that in Jacksonville, which is the funny thing. But obviously, every day, the averages in Jacksonville are probably like 70 degrees this year, the high. So it's just they need that heat and humidity. They like it, but they don't need it, I guess. But yeah, I think it's just too cold for them there. But they are quite hardy. I mean, decently so for a tropical palm. The low during the recent, I mean, they're native to Florida, where it does freeze, into the 40s at least, where they're native. So. Cal, I believe they are. Oh, yeah, Adam Polly, I would not be surprised. They definitely can probably grow in southernmost Georgia, all along the coast. Royals do well here in summer. Never tried out. Yeah, no. I mean, London. As much as I'm incredibly impressed with the palms in London, it's just it is just too cold for them there. I hate saying that, and I would love to be proven wrong, and I would love to see one tried in Tresco, but I mean, they can just eke by in like San Francisco in a good microclimate. Maybe not even in San Francisco. There's some like in San Jose, which is just south of San Francisco, like in like a warmer area just away from the coast. But even in San Francisco, I've heard that some of them can be a bit finicky. But there are big ones there, so who knows? Maybe I'd say go for it. I mean, with the heat island and everything, but I think London is just too cold, unfortunately. I mean, you can grow crazy stuff there. Arboretum Phoenix, I mean, that's not much less hardy than Royals, so or not much hardier than Royals, like I should say. So go for it, I'd say. Bamboo is send out new shoots. I'm planning on making a bamboo. Oh, that's awesome, Dara. Yeah. I know some of them could be a bit invasive. I think they're gorgeous, and there's native bamboo here too. So not all bamboo are invasive, but that's awesome. Keep us updated on that. That is awesome. Beautiful sable minor here. I'm just gonna go through really quickly. I probably need to leave soon. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5. And then I think there's 2 over there, and then a seedling. So a lot of sable minor here. Just beautiful. Gotta love that. That's another one, the Hesperella funifera, I believe, just in the bush there. And then I'm just gonna go over here for the last bit. Guys, it was great having you on here. Happy New Year's. I want to say that to all you guys in there. Thank you so much. But yeah, here is what I was talking about at the beginning. This is where I started, by the way. Beautiful crepe myrtle there. Obviously, they're deciduous. They lose their leaves, but beautiful red bark on that. Just gorgeous. Native eastern white pine there. More of the, that looks like a deodar cedar, actually. I don't know if it's an atlas or deodar, one of the two. Eastern hemlock there. More crepe myrtle. And then this is, so you see this, what they do. Florida and South Carolina state tree is the cabbage palmetto, sable palmetto. But they see this is represented by dwarf palmetto. So since sable palmetto is not a fully hardy species here, although I'd love to see them zone push with one, I wouldn't be surprised if in a good location by the this pond here, good spot for them to try them out, but not fully hardy here. Look at the seed on that. I need to grab some of that. Look at that. That's some good seed. I scattered some of that around Cincinnati, some of the seed from DC. More here. But these are good sized palms. So they got the dwarf palmettos in here. Beautiful, beautiful. Big fronds on them. The ones I got a video of yesterday, which I'm going to upload shortly, those are big palms in DC. There's some big ones here. And this needle palm is just awesome. You gotta love that. Look at the size of this frond. Jesus. It's interesting. These fronds look really dark. I don't know if it's because of the cold or not, but obviously they don't get cold damage here. But look at these fronds. Just stunning. I have gotten a new sable miner in Louisiana. Oh, that's awesome. Wow. Miner, Louisiana, and palmetto. You got to be one of the only people, if the only, one of the only, certainly in Ireland, to be growing sables, because they're just incredibly rare there. Look at this needle palm. You got actually fruit on this. Look at that. Look at that. So I think these are, it's weird. Like the males, I think, send out fruit too, but you need male and female to pollinate. And I think only the female's fruit is viable. And apparently the fruit smells kind of bad, but I've seen that before. I don't know if they grow though. I scattered some around my yard, but I think this is, you do need both male and female palms to produce seed, unlike sable miner. Look at the size of these fronds, though. Beautiful, beautiful sable miner. Excuse me, needle palm. There's the tag right there. Rhapidophyllum hystrix needle palm. So yeah, palms do grow here. Quite a few beautiful species that we got. And then here is the sable miner. Look at this one. Big, big, big palm. Good sized. With this stalk is going right just up to my head, so it's a big, good sized palm. Probably been here for a little while. Look at this. Nice, nice, nice. And I've, these things are native within certainly within a 4 hours drive, probably within a 3.5 hours drive, if you were quick. Native, I think 8 miles or so south of the Virginia border. I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever that they were once native to Virginia. There's numerous reports of them. There's still pictures of them in the wild in Virginia. And, so much land has been cleared in Virginia for development. Virginia was like the first place settled by the English, in the 1600s. And obviously, they reported seeing sable miner there, and then they just started clearing stuff and burning it like crazy. So, no doubt sable miner was once native to Virginia. So it is basically, native really close to here, and probably native to Maryland too before the last ice age. Same with needle palm. The only one in Ireland growing sable. Yes, I bet you are, Dara. It's crazy. How do you get them? You get them at like some online nursery. They are so rare in Europe. It's crazy. They're so common here, but they're so rare in Europe. It's funny because the only palm native to Europe is the Mediterranean fan palm, which is obviously very common here as well, or not necessarily in DC, but in the East Coast and in the U.S. But our palms aren't as common there, which is fortunate. But there are some nice ones in Europe. Native, yes. Adam Pauly, absolutely. Yes, I am a believer that they are, or at least were, native to Virginia. And obviously that'd still be considered a native species. Numerous reports, including the book that I have, Palm Trees, what's it called? Oh my gosh. Palms Don't Grow Here and Other Myths, all about hardy palm growing. That is my text for hardy palm growing. Great book. It lists them as native to Virginia. Numerous maps list them as native to Virginia, and colonial records too. So I have no doubt, yes, they are native to Virginia. And the guy Pungo Palm said he's seen them in the wild in the Virginia out in the woods. He said he doesn't know if they're naturalized or not. Some of them probably are naturalized, but I have videos of some growing in the woods in Virginia that probably are naturalized or on the side of the road. But no doubt some of them are not. They're not too hard to get in the UK. That's nice. That's good to hear. Yeah. They are rare, though, obviously, much more rare than any of the other palms, Phoenix Carianthus or anything. Whereas here, they're the most common. They are very rare, I know, in Europe. But that's good to hear they're not too hard to get. I hope they become more common. And there's a huge sable palmetto in Paris, which surprised me, too. So they grow there, just certainly. I haven't seen any in Ireland. I get them from France. Oh, got it. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta imagine they're incredibly rare in Ireland. Phoenix theophrastii are native to Europe. Oh, yes. Sorry, Cal. Yes. So, yeah, exactly. Mediterranean fan palm is the only one native to mainland Europe. But yes, absolutely. Phoenix theophrastii are native to Crete, Cretan date palm off of the coast of Greece. So that is, yes, definitely, absolutely, a native of Europe. And yeah, pretty cool to see. So you do have 2 native species there, and plenty nearby. The Canary Island date palm, obviously. So lots, and obviously, yeah, nice mild climate there. That's awesome. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you folks. I'm just gonna end the live stream here because unfortunately I have to get home. But I am off I think I'm off Monday and Tuesday actually. So I don't know. I know some of you guys are probably busy then, but I may end up doing another live stream. I don't know. Maybe I'll go somewhere else that's palmy, like the National Mall, or otherwise maybe I'll do one from home. I don't know. You guys should let me know. At some point, I'm going to hold a vote. Where do you guys want me to live stream from? The Arboretum's good. They have good internet connection, too, for some reason. So that's really good. Everywhere here does. But, yeah, good connection, hopefully. Good content. Obviously, great palms, great other plants. And, yeah, the National Mall's a great place. There's this one neighborhood in D.C. where they've got about 6 palms growing within a very short walk of each other. 6 different houses with palms, which is pretty incredible. And then there's the big trackie, which you guys may know of. I may just end up going to DC and just doing a crazy walking tour, a palm tour. I don't know. I'm gonna hold a vote at some point. Where do you guys want to see a live stream from? Let me know. If you guys know the different locations. From the zoo, I could do one. That palm at the zoo might be a goner, that trackie. I don't know what happened to that thing, but it's really unfortunate. Very rare in Ireland. Probably the first person to introduce people. Yes, you very well maybe. That's amazing. Yeah, it's awesome. You got some nice sables over there. Happy New Year. I have to go now. Awesome, Cal. Thank you so much for joining in. It was great having you here. Hopefully, yeah, enjoy the palmy and balmy weather in London. You guys got some nice weather out there. And just love it. The palms there are incredible. Great talking to you. And yeah, I'm going to go as well. But yeah, Happy New Year to all you guys. Thank you so much for joining in. And I'm going to sign off. But I hope you all are doing well. And yeah, happy palm growing. Let me grab some of the seed here for collecting. But yeah, lots of nice palms here at the Arboretum. Yeah, so like and subscribe for more videos, folks. Stay tuned. Take care. Also, yeah, stay tuned for more videos from Mexico, which I still have on the way because I took lots more. Probably got around 7 or so that I still have to upload at least, and then some more from DC that I took yesterday. So lots of palmy videos on the way. But yeah, take care, folks. Happy New Year. Thank you all for everything. Great to have you guys on here. You guys are awesome. And as I always say, the palms do the talking, and the exotic plants as well. They all do the talking. I just do the filming. And I know I can't sort of ramble on sometimes. But yeah, the palms are really what do the talking. It's pretty cool to see. Lots of nice palms here. Take care, folks. Happy New Year.